you shouldn't think that way. You should think like, well, this is really something I don't want to do. So just go ahead and
Um,
do it, even though you think it
Well, no,
might
it's
turn
not
out
that. It's
bad.
that
no,
that
no. Because then he's
I'm one
gonna
of those
produce a
people.
result
I'm
he
one of
doesn't
those
want.
people. If I don't have to if I don't have to confront something, if I don't have to make a problem,
Well,
I'm
exactly. You don't have to.
well.
But
Like
if
But
you
he
do have
might,
to,
is
then
what he's
just
saying.
I'm
say,
one of those
the
people who's
truth.
very. I'm very. I would like to say I'm very calm and level-headed, and like to make sure things can diffuse as quickly as possible. Except when I'm pushed to my absolute limit, and then it's just like, oh, I don't care anymore. We're gonna confront this problem, and it's gonna be addressed no matter what.
Well, I mean, I get it because, like, I mean, I have social anxiety too. I'm 24. It's still not grown out of me.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't think. Yeah, I don't think it ever will, and it's not just because like older
You get
kids.
better at it.
Like, um, I get nervous like when we're at McDonald's and my mom says, "Go ahead and order." I still stutter when I do my order,
Yeah.
even though I
Yeah.
say
same,
I
Yeah.
get
same
the same
though.
thing every time, and I still stutter.
Guys, listen up. It's time to listen to my
Let me
music,
tell you
baby.
something.
Shut
Man.
up! Dude,
Dude,
fuck. You're so
Just mute him. I
Just-
did it.
just-
I local
just-
made it.
It's
Like, it saves so much trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
Because Waltzy's not gonna mute his dumb fucking ass. Let's see. When I had social anxiety too, but for different reasons that I won't get into because that's a long story. But let's just say that I wasn't the best at understanding people, and so I'd always be nervous that I'd say the wrong thing. And there are several times in my life when I have, and there are very many funny stories I share now about them. One of them called the Bacon Story, which, yeah, I know you're already questioning what the fuck that is. Yep, that's a different conversation, however. Anyway,
You know what? I want to ask, but I'm not going to.
I'll tell you later. What I learned is by the time I was 15, 16, I wanted to understand people. Like I've always wanted to, but I didn't know how. Well, by that time, I was gonna try my fucking hardest to understand everything about every type of person to have ever existed. And
Dang,
so
you're-
What
I
the
wanted
hell?
to know fuckboys, I wanted to know jocks, I wanted to know nerds, I wanted to know weeaboos, I wanted to know white, black, poor, rich, blah 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 blah. I wanted to know every stereotype, every kind of person, every background, and how that changes that person. For example, I've noticed that a lot of people who are sexually abused, typically by a family member, tend to be into that with other people later on in their life. That's how they deal with that pain, that struggle, is because now they have power over that. And that's, so let's say they were rapes. So there are some rape victims I've met that like to be dominated, like up really harshly, like their prior experience.
Yeah.
I haven't really talked to them as the why, but from what I figure and from my own research, there's a lot of reasons why. And I've talked to maybe a couple people around the subject, but never directly. And they always told me something along the lines of having power in their own hands. But if you never knew that about that person, how would you ever know what that person is, what they're thinking, what their past was? But if you find out something as big as that about a person, and you find how they deal with that problem, it tells you a lot about that person. It doesn't mean that they've been through everything in life, okay? There's a lot of other things, but it does mean that there was a big event in their life, and this is how they handled it. So you wonder how they handled all the smaller events. And so honestly, to me, understanding people and their history and how they react to those events is the most important thing.
Well, like, you know, when I was a little kid, I thought, you know, I took everything as face value because when you're a little kid. But, you know, now I realize, you know, at school, I'm always laughing because, you know, me and my friends are always saying jokes. So funny stuff happens. But I don't ever, like, I'm not ever, like, really happy. I'm just, you know, laughing at something because, you know, it's funny. Just because something's funny and you're laughing or you're smiling doesn't exactly mean you're happy. And some people don't know that. And so when say you're having a bad day, I'll be like, oh, all the stress is getting to me, everything just feels like it's cracking. And one person was like, oh, well, you just seem like the happiest person and nothing's wrong with you. And I was like, wow, you really don't know about people, do you?
Oh, I mean,
And I was like,
understand that.
I said something like really like fake, like something like a fake D person would say, but it's like, like, oh, the people with the biggest smiles have the biggest frowns on the inside or some dumb thing like that. But
Yeah, I get that struggle. I ask that question a lot. But then you realize that these people have to focus on so many things in their life that sometimes you have to be straight with them, because that's what they expect out of you, right? They don't always want to figure out what's wrong with you because they're trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with them, you know?
yeah,
And maybe other people like their family. So I mean that's always the problem, you know?
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm, like, if someone with me is that I hate to feel lesser than, or not lesser than people, but I hate to feel like I don't amount, or I don't know how to put it. I just hate feeling like,
Worthless?
Like people don't
Wells
get you,
Fargo
or
has the
what?
number one
not
mobile
that
banking
people,
app, and
not
it
that
just
I'm
got
worthless.
even
It's just
better
that
at Zelle.
I hate it when
My
people,
customers are
not that
selling
they
it with
think
each
they're
other,
better than
so I
me,
have
but
more
like,
time.
if
Why
I
does that matter?
feel like someone
Just ask Patsy.
is in that situation
You should
that's
see my
like,
cross stitcher.
I don't know. I just kind of hate people thinking I can be messed with.
Vimeo
That's
gives you
really
the
one of my pet
professional
peeves. It
video
really
tools
gets under
you
my
need
skin.
to tell
It doesn't
your
matter
story
what they
and grow
say.
your
It could be
business.
like something
Generate
super
leads and
trivial,
engage viewers
like,
with
oh, I
customizable
have
calls to
more,
action. Save
or
time
my
and
oh my
gather
math,
feedback
like,
with
Act like they're
collaboration
better
and
than
review
you.
tools. And
yeah,
drive
act like
results
they're better than
with
me, or
advanced
think that
analytics to track
I'm not
video
gonna do anything if they mess with
Join
me.
Vimeo Business today.
And because I'm,
Videos that do
just a laid back, like most of the time I'm not really objectifying to anything. Most of the time people think they can mess with me, and then like, if it's my friends and they're just seasoned, that's different. But if it's like, you're legit saying things about me that could be considered hurtful, it's not that they're hurtful to me, it's just that it makes me feel bad because I made you feel like you were able to say those things to me without anything happening to you.
Everybody's
that's
gonna
just
do that
people in
anyway.
general.
Yeah, they're gonna try.
Tenderly,
Wait, what happened?
People will tease or air quotations bully someone who's more likely not to do anything back to them, not to act back or not to say anything because they're either too scared or too afraid. There's something about them that they're not going to do anything back. With me, it's not that I'm scared of like being in a fight or being in an argument with one. I'm scared of what's going to happen after that, because I can handle myself in a fight. Even if, I'd rather lose in a fight than run away like a coward. Like, I don't mind losing a fight if I fight honorably. Like, if I have a good fight, but if someone is truly better than me and they fight honorably, then I will take that loss. Like, I want the credit if I'm winning or I'm losing.
All right, Master Splinter.
I don't think fighting is the answer, but
No,
definitely if
fighting
it
is
gets
not
to
the
that
answer.
point.
No, dude.
I hate how people say violence.
Fighting is
Sometimes
Fighting is-
violence is the only thing
Sometimes
people
it has to
fucking
come down to
understand.
that.
the thing is nobody likes an
It's-
ass
it's-
kicking.
see, when it comes to violence, it's only used as your last resort. If I cannot get something through your head with words or actions, I will not start a fight. I will
Yeah,
not start a
no.
fight.
Violence to me is a middle answer, dude. Like, people don't like getting their ass
It's the last
kicked.
resort. Like, now if you are going to
Let him explain why.
Yeah,
like-
well, you see, people don't like getting their ass kicked, and people that pick on you, right? People that are gonna pick on you do it because you're not kicking their ass.
Yeah.
So kick their ass.
so kick the
I mean,
Well,
it's
it's
true
like-
though.
Sometimes violence is the only thing people fucking understand. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
solve
you're not gonna
everything by
kill.
being
You're not gonna
nice.
kill the guy.
There is
You
no
just kick
language
his
barrier.
ass.
There is no lost in translation. There is no misunderstanding. If I'm hitting you in the face, you're gonna understand that clearly.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I guess that is a reason because
I mean,
let me tell you something. When I was in high school, I was like the kid to pick on. Like I would do nothing whatsoever if somebody said
that's how
anything
I
to
am.
me.
You're probably
And-
just timid. You're
Everybody,
probably just,
And
seriously, every
one
single
day,
person thinks
this
that.
kid went up to my desk, and he was like, "What's your grade in this class, girl?" And I was like, just like, I don't know, because I was like really shy and stuff. And he saw my grade and he was like, "Girl, that ain't good enough." And he slapped me in the face, which just sounds hilarious, but it
That
hurt
is
like
fun.
fuck. And it was
But it
fucked.
probably
Like,
did.
it was just this guy, this kid, who just fucking slapped me in the face, and my teacher didn't do shit. She was just sitting there like, whatever. And I
See,
was
that
just
kinda-
sitting there like,
I
oh
don't
my
get paid
god.
enough for this shit.
And anyway, nobody did anything. Like, nobody actually give a shit about me. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god. So I actually don't do anything. But after he did that, I took the entire desk over my head and I smashed him in the face with it.
Oh my
I've never
God.
done anything like that.
Yo, the
I
best,
didn't even
I
think I
haven't
could do
done
that.
either.
The
Yeah,
best
you need to calm down.
the best thing I ever did
We
to
had-
someone.
We had plastic trays.
Yeah,
We had like the hard plastic trays instead of like the styrofoam trays.
yeah,
Like the hard ones that like you can like hit
Yeah,
across the
dude.
table. Like I'm talking like
yeah.
super.
No, we know the trays you're talking about.
And so we were we would eat off them and stuff, and I had entirely finished mine.
You did?
One kid
You ate
one
off
kid
of?
took my friend, and he looked at my friend and said, and my friend was saying, "Oh, can you just leave me alone? I'm trying to eat." And he goes, "No, shut up. You don't deserve to eat." He was doing like really like mean
What is
stuff.
your
And
communist?
he took his face and just shoved it in his tray, and we were having like super like Frito pie that day. So we put,
God,
like,
these
his face all covered.
communists
And of course, I had already finished my
taking
tray.
over my country.
Take my tray
You don't
and
deserve to
pick
eat,
it
dude.
up. And I look at him and I said, "You have no right to. You have no right to do that." And I just crack it across his back, and you could hear it and start in the
Dude,
whole cafeteria.
Do you want to hear it? You want to hear a
I'm
story
pretty sure
about
I
those
bruised
hard
his
lunch
spine.
trays, dude? You want to hear about those hard lunch trays, dude? I was actually gonna tell a story about those. My favorite thing I ever did to a kid. It was like 7th grade. We got into a fight, right, in fucking lunch, but it was kind of like a passive aggressive thing to start out. We were just talking shit, and so he started eating again, and I was like standing up behind him. So I like grabbed the back of his hair and started slamming his face into his food.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
shit.
So you were the bully. Okay.
Well, like, no, you weren't agree
No,
to that.
no, it was
Sometimes the
a-
bullied are the bullies.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, neither of us was the bully. He just kind of
You got an argument.
he went too far in that verbally, so I showed him that's too far. You can't say that.
Technically. He went too far verbally, so you went too far.
Like,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Dakota knows me and Hob knows me well, and Crest knows me well enough to know that I'm not exactly a particularly violent person. I may have my angry moments, but
Hey,
Yeah, that's all.
Sometimes that's what it takes to get respect. If people don't know you have boundaries, you can't always put like verbal boundaries out in school,
Yeah.
especially.
If
I don't know. I feel like verbal
what I'm
abuse is
about to
like
say.
whatever.
respect through. If you cannot
Hey,
give honor
Rex.
through respect,
Yeah.
or, I think it's, if you can't give respect through honor, respect.
Well, it's not
What?
even it's not even just through honor. It's that some people will not like respect boundaries unless someone physically shows them you can't do that.
I don't know.
But
I feel like
I
if
remember
somebody
a couple
says things to
times
me,
in my life
then it's not a big like. I'm not gonna hit them because they said something to me. Like
Well,
that's
like, one
different. Like if
boundary
somebody
I-
hits me,
Whoa, hold
I'm gonna hit 'em.
on.
It's about my dad.
Let just let me give you an example. Let me tell you something that I say a lot of shit doesn't get under my skin. But I remember this fucking one time. I think it was my sophomore year of high school, so this was only a couple years ago.
Whoa, you're professional.
But one of my friends, one of my really good friends, had gone through a lot of his life. One of the few people on planet Earth
Unnecessary
who really
information.
give a lot of fuck about. And
Just say one
he got like people ganged up on him and bullied him, and
Thank you for your
one of the
useless
people was one of our
contribution.
friends that we had given a place in. And you know,
Is
like
my
this
mic on?
guy, his name was Chris. Like, you know, didn't have a lot of friends, was made fun of, and like me
Hello?
and Preston were his friend. Like we
Yeah,
treated him
your
like
mic-
a normal
Your
fucking
mic
person.
is on, but someone's talking, so we're ignoring you.
All right,
Oh.
thank you.
Is it
Go on.
noble?
Hello.
Go on,
Hello.
Rex.
Test 1, 2, 3.
That's one
And
thing.
I remember that when he told me this, it was like the beginning of the day. Well, I had class with Chris later on in the day. I remember being so pissed off that when I sat in class and I was looking at him from like 10 feet away, I just was so pissed off, and I was so tempted to like to actually start a fight and to just, I don't know, do whatever.
Well, that's
Like, I was
awesome.
close
See,
to
I
doing
don't,
it.
I don't,
But
I don't ever start with.
well, here's the thing. He ganged up on my friend who did nothing to him
Elephant
except treat him like one of his own. That was fucked up.
You think
Like,
that's
that was pretty
Elephant.
fucked up.
Elephants.
my friend Aiden, him and friends, and this. So I go to my school. There's 8th graders and 7th graders.
Whatever.
And these 7th graders were spitting his friend Blake. He's also a 7th grader. These 7th graders, they were spitting when they would.
He was a peasant. That's why.
They
He was a
would
peasant.
spit on his shoes and like spit at him, which was super cool. And so my friend Aiden confronted them about it. And peaceful, hey guys, can you stop? That's not nice. You know, I just want you guys to stop and nothing else happened. And so they jumped him in a bathroom and they like beat him and bloodied him and gave him a concussion and like he was
My point was the cat though, which is sometimes even when you are being nice and you're going out of your way and you're doing everything, that people will still fuck you over, and the only thing they understand is violence. Like
You think
at
you
the
don't
end
know
of the
that by
day.
now?
No, I know you know
Whoa,
that, but like,
Well, it's not.
no,
It's not.
I'm not saying you
it's
don't
cool.
know. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
it's
you
not
don't
just
know.
that. It's
I
not
don't think
just
it's
that,
right
Rax.
though. Like
Yeah, I will
if
say
somebody
that.
just comes up to me and like goes, "Oh, you're this and that," and like there's a lot of things that I don't know about me in this town. Like everybody knows everything about me here. Because
Yeah,
my
she
family's like really loud
See,
comments. And anyway,
talking shit
I
is
don't
one
care.
thing. Talking shit is one thing, but what I mean when I say that is if someone's trying to degrade someone's trying to degrade the image of you in the eyes of their peers. Sometimes
Let him finish.
no, it totally
Let him finish.
It totally
They
is.
try to hit me.
One captain, one ship. Let him finish.
Yeah, see, the thing is, maybe it's just different worldviews. If someone sees you as certain physical force against someone else, that sets a precedent. That sets a precedent.
Good example.
Kind of like how if you're in prison, you know, you have to just beat it. They say beat up the biggest guy, and no one will mess with you, right?
Miss Bryody.
It's
You
can beat up black
Okay,
people,
this is
trust
getting a
me.
little dumb. I feel like
Those niggers are
this
crowing.
reminds me of
Garbage.
No, it's
not
Stop.
garbage. Stop.
I will say,
They were like
no, I will
picking on
I will
my
say, I
friend.
think
You went to night
I
school.
think
This is stupid. Where's
I think the
institutionalism?
disconnect.
Okay, little kid.
Little kid. I mean,
Anyway, like a boyfriend or
What the fuck is that sound?
some guy, you know.
Hey, is everyone else got me YouTube now?
Anyway, she
I think
was getting picked on by this other girl. She was like,
Yeah.
and she was like, I think that you get the consequences to get beat. And so I did. I told her, I was like, dude, don't do it. Because you're texting a girl.
I think the disconnect here between our viewpoints is because you're a female. Well, like, and I don't mean that to
I don't
sound
think it
like.
matters.
No, I don't mean that. No, no, no,
Let him
no.
finish.
No, in the realm of like men and men, like physical violence is always a threat. Like if you encroach on a man's like, I hate using the word honor, but like if you step on what he believes, you know, the threat of physical violence is always there. Whereas girls are more passive aggressive
What do
typically.
you mean? Girls have beat the shit
No,
out of me
yeah,
before.
yeah,
What the
yeah.
fuck do you mean?
Girls can throw hands.
He's saying
Girls
that.
can
He's
throw
saying
hands.
that it's still
But
not as
as
often.
Well, as men,
Well, okay,
we're,
maybe
we're-
not as common.
I mean,
but it
I mean,
does happen.
I mean, I'm really saying like we naturally produce testosterone more than estrogen, and vice versa for women. Testosterone causes the violent feelings. You know, in young men when their hormones are going crazy, you know, especially in high school, you know, violence is just a part of life.
I
You know,
know,
if some-
but it doesn't need to be, is what I'm saying.
We
That's
are
all I'm trying to
animals.
say.
What do you expect
No,
out of us?
no,
Yeah,
you can
see-
be a man. You can try to act older than you are.
See, we're not
That's the
advocating.
thing.
We're not advocating for killing people. We're
I
advocating-
know, but
We're
still,
not. We're not
advocating
even
for-
advocating for violence. We're saying that it's a natural part of our society.
It is natural, but guess what? I don't think you should take action.
a good beat is
See, if you don't take In a lot of cases, if you don't take action, the group sees you as weak, and then you're done.
What the hell? Who
Here's the
gives a
thing.
shit?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me paint you a scenario. Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, I took like weight training class in high school, and like those kids, if you weren't tough, like you wouldn't socialize with them at all. Like men with
That's
men.
not the right friends. That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean that's not the right friends? That's what
Those aren't
that's
the
the
right
kind
If
of
you
friend.
can't stand up for
That's
what
the
you
kind of
believe,
friend
why
I
would they
want.
ever be friends with you?
That's the kind of person I want around me. Is the kind of person that can